Greetings and felicitations. Hip hip hurrah, and yes, Mr. Spock, it is pronounced tally ho. Welcome everyone to the Sunday edition of Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies, where don't show a movie, but there's always a topic of discussion, except for today. But before we get into that, allow me to introduce the one, the only, the hostess with the mostest, our goddess, Yvette.
And I'm just sitting back down. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, Chuck's trying to get in a drawer. God. Oh, for a pussy that behaves itself.
Oh my God. This is Slocum. This is Slocum.
Yes.
So
Oh.
today we normally have a topic. Uh, I kind of messed around the week doing other things and got busy. So did Yvette. So we don't have a topic. So this is a stream mostly about nothing now. Or I come to think of it, I've never really introduced myself to the crowd. They've just been following me because I show these great old, really schlocky movies. And some of you recognize me from my insane political bits, but we won't get into politics today. We're all going to stay out of jail this Sunday. Next week might be a different story, but this Sunday we're going to stay out of jail. Okay? So now, as you know about me, I'm the groovy movie guy. You know, the old black and white 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, silent movies. All these old movies I like. Grew up watching them. Uh, used to sit up late nights with insomnia as a teenager, and I'd watch old silent movies, old westerns, old film noirs, old really bad horror movies, really stupid sci-fi movies. And so I just kind of I've been collecting them the past 10, 15 years, I guess. And a wonderful thing I found out, okay, vinyl. And I may have to turn my camera on to show off some things I have. Uh I never really got rid of my vinyl. I I I sold off some of it like in the early 90s. I needed the money, but the bulk of it I kept. And all of a sudden, nowadays, you got young people, you know, buying vinyl. They think they're doing something. Okay. And I mean, there's one YouTube channel. The title of it is How to Vinyl. I look at this guy when it comes across my feed. I'm like, what? How to vinyl? No, it's called playing records. You young dumb person. And he just, I mean, everything from keeping from keeping your records clean to storage, and I mean, I mean, 100-year-old technology. I'm 1,000 times better in it than most of the people out there that are trying to, on YouTube at least, that are trying to tell you this. But before I waste all of the time, okay, maybe Yvette has some things to throw in this.
Sure. So I'm don't know how much a lot of you know me. Some of you don't. So I'm a professor of quantum physics. I used to teach. Retired from that. I'm still researching. And yeah, I've been on YouTube since it launched. I've done the channel thing. I've done all sorts of things on YouTube. I find it much easier now because I work a lot, got to look after my mum, and I have an insane kitten, which keeps me busy. So I love coming on Mr. Londell's. I've always loved Mr. Londell. I've known him for years. And we share the same passions about movies, and vinyl. I mean, I have an awesome collection of vinyl too. My father worked for EMI. That would be the Beatles, at the very least. Queen. So I used to get a lot of freebies. Do you know, when you were talking about your vinyl, about wiping it, I used to always get the picture discs with their face on, or I've got a Queen one. And they were just so awesome. You didn't want to play them. You buy another copy of just the song. So the picture discs were just to be looked at.
But I have never liked picture discs. There's always been a serious problem with sound quality.
Yeah.
And because, well, most of that is the picture itself. You only have a little tiny sliver of clear vinyl on there, and that messes with the sound, believe it or not.
That's why I always got a proper copy.
Yeah, you noticed it too. But
I treasure my picture discs as art,
yeah,
and not for music, and then always got a copy of the real thing.
Oh, smart. Yeah. So let me
should we say hello to everyone?
Yeah, we do need to. We've got Brogu is with us.
Yeah, hi Brogu. Words, of course.
Words and pictures. He always sneaks in under the wire.
Fill up gaming. Hey Phil.
And Brogu was trying to watch a football game and listen to us at the same time. Brogu, I hate the Saints and I hate the Eagles. So no reflection on you. Just when I was an NFL fan, I hated the Who Dat crowd and the Eagles because I'm a Cowboy. I was a Cowboy fan. I could give two shits about the entire league now after all that kneeling and crap they did. Okay, before I end up dead. So, anywho, okay, we also have Wayne. He's joined us.
Yeah, hey Wayne. And Deej.
The inimitable the man himself, Deej. Farm life.
Yeah.
Guys, need to check out Deej.
Yeah, I love his farm life.
Especially this time of year. You see him out there doing the harvest. You see exactly where your food comes from. So you can, all this crap about price gauging. Oh, let me shut up again. So anyhow, and we've got Philip Gaming. He came in under the wire. But anywho.
And B. Hey Jeff.
Oh yeah, Jeffy B.
And Connie's here too. Hey Connie.
Connie Cleary, yeah. Nice to see you. She's a bird lady. She loves her parrots and parakeets.
Have you been watching the button quail, Connie? You'd love that. And we got Jade, the pickup artist.
Oh, do we? Oh, yeah. What I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jay. Okay, now with the joke of with the joke with the original Joker from Batman. Okay,
Well, that's the
I
only
gotta
one
give
I
you
know.
props for Caesar Romero playing. Well, there was the guy that killed himself accidentally, but
I
and
didn't
he did a
follow any
pretty
of the
good.
movies or anything.
Oh, okay, but
No.
Jack Nicholson played a good Joker.
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Yeah,
I think I saw the
it's the
Penguin
Michael
one as
Keaton
well.
movie. It's
Yes, the Michael
the one
Keaton. Yeah, I have
the
seen the
one
Michael
you
Keaton
like.
ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Up to Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's it. I stopped.
Uh, oh, okay, okay. I'm glad you got that off your chest, bro. Who that?
Mhm.
So far, they've done nothing. So they got rid of the best coach they have ever had, and so there you have it. But anywho, now I'm going to show you something. It took me a long time to find vinyl wise. Okay, this. Okay.
We'll have to tell him to blow himself up when he gets back.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Vinyl Wives, Phil? What's that? Some reality show in America? Never
Uh,
heard of that one.
uh, that's not how you do it. Okay, how do I blow myself up? Um, I guess.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah. Now, notice,
Wow.
notice. Okay,
Yep.
it's
British.
London recording. Okay. Now I have, and so that you know it's legitimate red
Yep.
label. Okay. This came off a boat. I'm thinking from Merrill, England, and I've noticed there is a difference. I've got an original set, London, but it's the black label,
Mm-hmm.
which means it was pressed here in America.
Ah.
And I noticed there is a difference in the quality.
Ah.
It actually blew me away. I'm afraid to play these too much. Okay, they may get scratched, And if I scratch one of these, I will be pissed. Okay, just because okay, the original my first set I bought in the '80s, American pressing. I paid $120 for it.
Wow.
Well, considering it's all of Beethoven symphonies, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Symphony, Sir George Solti, okay, I considered it was worth it. This one, just a few months ago, I paid like $60 for it. So, you know, I got a steal. Now, uh, there was one thing I really liked. So, and that's like my ultimate steal when it comes to finding vinyl. What no, Philip? No, I will not get a really expensive laser record player. that okay, that's going into the realm of audiophile. Audiophile to me is a dirty word. Those are some of the most arrogant people you could ever be around. They will look at okay, they will look at like you have I've seen these videos on YouTube, like a teenage 15, 16-year-old girl, she gets a first record player. It's going to be one of those suitcase players, okay, like we all had when we were kids. That's what either you saved your money up to get or your parents got it for you for Christmas or your birthday. And they don't play records very well, but it's a cheap record player.
I had one.
Yeah, that's so did I. Okay, it was and these snobs. Okay, they'll you know jump in the comment section of these these 15, 14, 15-year-old girls with the first record player. Just they're being introduced into playing analog stuff. Some old fart. You're destroying those records. This yada yada yada. This the arm is too heavy. You're ruining them. No, it's not. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm like, look, okay, that old guy that's rich now with the, you know, thousands of dollars worth of equipment and all of this started out just like me. Okay, one of those little cheap record players that your parents or your grandparents got you for your birthday or Christmas, and you would play your records to death. It really doesn't damage those records because if you look at the standards for what the weight of the tone arm and all the tracking weight and all of that for a tone arm, they haven't changed. It's the maximum is like 6 grams of force that a vinyl record can take before you start doing damage to it.
I'll just interject slightly here. My dad's record player was pretty awesome, obviously compared to mine,
Yeah.
and it had a diamond tipped
Oh yeah.
needle, which we weren't allowed to touch. If we wanted music on downstairs, he'd put it on for us.
Yeah. We'll see all of the styline now or diamond. But like that little box suitcase, thing that you played your fuzzy wobbles on as a kid, that was probably like sapphire or something like that, or ruby.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
And the difference is with that, it's not a cartridge. The action of pressing against the weight of it on the record and it moving in the groove is what created the electrical signal that turned into music. With a diamond tipped, it's different. It's you've got magnets in there, so you've got the wire interacting around magnets and creating the electrical signal. It's different. That's why you can still buy record players like that have that, and you will notice a marked difference in sound quality. Between the diamond tip stylus and the sapphire or whatever they call it. Okay, and words. Audiophiles make a perfect empty computer sound. The vinyl sound has depth. Yeah, you're right. And that to me that was the beauty of analog. When you were recording in analog, your sound engineer, he really had to play with he really had to play with the dials on the soundboard to get it right. And then again, he did it was done again in studio when they were mastering it, to make sure the highs and the lows and everything was perfect. Now with CDs, I don't know if you realize this or not, they just pump it up. So, and if you can take it, what I would suggest is take your one song on CD that you like the most and listen to it a couple of times, and then listen to it on vinyl if possible, and you will notice it's a marked difference in subtleties and everything. That's why I'm glad I never gave up my vinyl. What I did do though was I had to buy another turntable. I got rid of that because I had no room in my rack for a turntable anymore. But the one I have, Fluence RT85, that's the top of their line. I love it to death. So that's my little selling point. Uh, don't let me talk all day, Yvette.
Oh no! I'm listening. Yeah, I still have my father's record player. He obviously updated it over the years, but it's still functional and it's kept covered. It has a lid, and yeah, it's not something I do very often. But vinyl is. Don't get me wrong. I was intrigued with digital. I remember my first CD I bought. It was Rick Astley, the Rick Roll. But obviously, vinyl was still very much a passion of mine. So I got a stacked new one with a double tape, a CD player. I mean, yeah, I treated myself because I like my music as well. But yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I own the original Now album, double vinyl. These are things I bought, and I know the Now albums are. I don't know if you get them in the US, but here it's, I don't know, 100 and something. And they first launched on vinyl, and
Yeah.
one of the first really good mixed ones, apart from like the BBC ones they used to do. So Now was quite revolutionary here, and yeah, I played that a lot. But I was a huge fan of Duran, Nick
Oh yeah.
Kershaw, Queen, obviously. And of course, I listened to the Beatles, Elvis. I had all the vinyl I could choose from, so I was very, very fortunate, and I do not take that lightly.
Yeah. Well, okay, Brogu. If you as an adult have a cheap suitcase record player, you should have all of your vinyl taken away. I understand as a child having it, but as a grown up, no. You can get a decent. Yeah, but Brogu, look how many people have grown up only with CDs.
Mm.
My nephews and nieces, they okay, when they were small, they used to call my records black CDs. They didn't know about records. So a grown up, it wouldn't surprise me that a grown up would have a cheap suitcase record player. Vinyl, okay, I'm gonna stop calling it vinyl. I'm gonna call it analog because that's what it is. Analog is something totally different.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
how you take care of it, how you store it, everything.
Every time you got it out, you got to wipe it with a nice
Yeah,
non. Uh, oh my god, my brain just farted.
non-static.
Thank you. Non-static
Yeah.
wipe before you put it on.
Clean the
Yeah.
stylus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Mine
some
came with a
people would,
little brush set
yeah.
right by it.
And then some people would clean it before they play it. And once they finished it, they would clean it again before they put it back
Yep.
in and those were the really anal retentive people. Okay. So yeah. Oh, so Brogu knows a little bit about the vinyl community, the analog community. He's heard of a Fluence RT85. Yes, that is for that is a wonderful player. For I would say that's like in the mid-level price at $500, and it's now they have Fluence have lesser models that you can upgrade to eventually being an R85. But I looked at all that and I'm like, hell no, just buy the 85 and enjoy the music, and that's what I've been doing. So and Philip, the CD was great, just a little limited in specifications. I guess so. But now everybody wants to stream music, which to me that's stupid because okay, what you're doing, and we'll get into this with like movies in a little bit. What you're doing is throwing away your right to own stuff because it's streamed, okay, so you don't have a physical copy of it. You probably can't listen to it at any time you want to, or at least it's going to limit you after a while because what's going to happen, streaming services, they're going to lose rights to this stuff. And then what do you do now? Think about that, especially
You
with
have a
movies.
valid point, Mr. Londo.
And I had this happen to me with just one movie. Okay, it was Mysterious Island. I bought it on a streaming service. That streaming service went belly up. Okay, and I'm trying to. What about my freaking movie? They won't answer. They had no way to get in touch with them. But after a while, I figured I learned my lesson. I went on Amazon, bought a Blu-ray of it. Okay, and I can watch Mysterious Island any damn time I want to now. Trust
Yeah,
me.
everything I own on Amazon is lazy. I already have it on DVD. So
Yeah.
that's terrible, isn't it? And words. Actually, my music tastes are not one. I was brought up because my dad worked in the record industry. I was kind of brought up with classical music, with uh 50s and 60s that my parents loved, and
Yeah.
then my own. I was all over the place with music. If I liked the record, I bought it. I didn't care where it slotted in the music scene. I was just loving the music for what it was.
Oh, due to the side haircut. Oh.
Yeah. I know. I did like the Pet Shop Boys though, words, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah. So, well, and when it comes to musical taste for me, it's eclectic. You look at this back here, okay, far left, all three sections there. That's all classical music. In the middle, the top and middle, that's all jazz. Bottom is instrumental, spoken word, soundtracks. And this over here, the last column, all three. It's which I need to go in there finally and put everything in some type of order. But it's all the all my R&B, classic rock, and there's some country in there as well. I got to get it out. I got to make some semblance of uh to at least that third stack. I'm lazy. I won't do it because I know approximately where anything is that I want to listen to. So I just go there and not it, bingo. And so that's the only thing. Plus over here, the bottom uh, section here, that's all blues, and I've got to really concentrate on expanding my blues collection. But we'll see. You know, first inflation's got to come down. So, well, I'm not. That's going into politics. Okay, I'm staying out
Grogu,
of it.
sorry, I thought Grogu's asked you a question.
About this new generation. I ignore them, Brogu. I'm 62 years old. I got better things to do than argue with some youngster that think they invented sex. Okay, no, you didn't. It took sex to bring your dumb ass onto the planet. So just now, okay. And so I have fun collecting my movies, collecting my uh, analog records, you know, cleaning, listening to them, playing them, and so I could care less what that generation thinks. You
Hey,
know,
Arabic.
they're the participation trophy generation, and so you don't get a trophy just for hanging around me. Okay, you got to do something. Aravic Sanda is in the house. My friend, what's up? Yeah, I know. See, you figured it out too, bro. No, they don't know anything. As my dad used to tell me when I was that age, you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. And he was right. So even though we didn't get along maybe 80% of the time, I have to agree with him on that. I did not. Oh, okay. Here's a good one for everybody. We'll let Yvette answer this one first. Aravic Sander wants to know who's your favorite composer. Uh, are you beating up Chuck again?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'm talking and I'm muted. I'm
oh,
sorry. I was looking at that. I sprayed him with water. He's gone away for now. Yeah. Mozart, Vivaldi, Beethoven, of course, Tchaikovsky, Bach, Wagner. You know, being English, we're
yeah,
kind of wean fed on all this. So, um, yeah, I don't know who my favorite is though. The planets. The planets was one of my favorite. Let me just double check before I make a complete tit of myself.
yeah. Whole,
Holst. Yeah, I've got the entire Royal Philharmonic Orchestra on vinyl
oh, you got
playing
all
the
the.
planets, all the planets. It's a huge collection and it's absolutely stunning music to
Yeah,
listen to.
yeah.
It really is.
And and me, okay, I have to go with Bach.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was just prolific. Let's just face it. Okay, everything from his organ pieces, especially the toccatas and fugues, his cello suites. I love
Mm.
his cello suites. Okay.
Well,
And
just to interject there, I learnt to play the cello as a
ooh,
child. Yeah, not the easiest instrument to shove between your legs when you're little. Even today, um, I'm not exactly a tall, big person. I I didn't play it well. I was not cut out for music. I did try and try, but yeah, I picked an awesome instrument to start on.
and okay, when it comes to box cello suites, this is what you need to get. Okay, okay, it's too much.
Nice. Yeah, no, I can see.
Yo-Yo Ma's 6
Nice.
composition. This to me is the definitive 6 evolutions. This to me is definitive when it comes to those, at least contemporarily definitive. I'm looking for what's his name? God, the Spanish guy.
Uh, hang on.
Name is on the tip of my tongue. Uh, but everyone says that his cello suites are the definitive ones. I've listened to him on YouTube, and I can see that, you know, but I still like Yo-Yo Ma better. Maybe it's because of the way the recording process has changed over the years. Uh, Pablo Casals, yeah. Everyone says that his uh, 6 cello suites has been the definitive recording of them. I've listened to them on YouTube, and I like them, and I'd really like to find a set, but they are expensive. So I may just have to work with what I can hear on YouTube when it comes to Pablo. and, but okay, who is this Arabic? If you like Yo-Yo Ma, you should check out Zul Bailey. He's second best. Never heard of him.
I can't say it's ringing any bells with me either.
But I'll check it. Let me write that down. I will check him out when I get a free moment. So what else we got?
I was just trying to think. Last night at the proms is one of the favourite things I love to listen to.
Oh,
I don't think you have it. It's
the
very
prom.
British. It's
Yeah.
very British, but it has the most one of the most famous bands on the planet. Well, orchestras. Beg your pardon. And some of the songs on the last night of the proms are just unbelievable. Land of hope and glory. You know, it is
Oh yeah.
Jerusalem, Rule Britannia. Um, it's just so uplifting for a Brit to listen to, and a staple for us. Last night at the proms, we used to always tune into the BBC. I can't say I tune into the BBC at all anymore, but it's something the BBC does very well. And the orchestra, which is the London Philharmonic Orchestra, it's the best orchestra you can be in here. Just incredible music. And anyone that hasn't heard Last Night at the Proms, just YouTube it. It'll send shivers down your spine. That's the sort of music I'm talking about. If music sends a shiver up and down your spine, it's doing something right.
Okay. So, okay, Land of Hope and Glory. So it's a lot of the
Classics. Yeah.
yeah,
It's very British.
yeah, a
But
lot
you
of the
will recognize every single song. I'm
uh,
telling you. That
yeah,
I don't care where you are on the planet, you will know this classical music. But it is
the-
very British. But hey, if you want to learn a bit more about the English, have a
yeah.
look at it. If you're into this, it's worth watching. And I dare anyone not to be moved by it.
Huh. I'm going to check that out. See if it brings a tear to the old eye.
I would
Oh,
say, in all fairness, because it's English
hmm,
through and through, it affects the English more. And if it was American songs, you know, American composers that just put it to a symphony of just amazing musicians, you get the same feeling. I don't know if it would inspire Americans, but if you do like that sort of music,
yeah.
I certainly suggest you give it a look.
Well, we have those type of songs here too. I mean, America the Beautiful, God Bless America, you
Yeah.
know, especially when Ray Charles does it. Okay. His rendition of America. So that really, even America hating liberals shed a tear when he would sing that song. So, we've got them here, the national anthem. We've got a few,
Yeah.
probably not as many as you Brits.
Well, no, we've been around a lot longer, so that's. I'm not giving you that comparison. I'm just saying, you know, by watching this, it could inspire something for the Americans to do. I mean, you copied The Office.
I never watched The Office.
Good.
I was out that came at a time when I was not particularly into sitcoms.
I actually never really sat down and watched The British Office because I'm not a fan of Ricky Gervais. So,
Uh, see, and
and it
then
was set in the town next to where I lived, Slough. I lived in Maidenhead. Well, I was born and raised in Berkshire, so which Maidenhead and Windsor. Everyone's heard of Windsor, I hope. Windsor Castle. Yeah. Actually, somewhere Americans know or have heard of.
see, and
So,
what did it for me was the show Coupling. They
okay.
tried they tried to make an American version of that. I didn't like the British version that much. It was just kind of stupid.
Ah,
Bunch of guys out just trying to get laid, and bunch of women, same thing. And the kind of crazy interactions. It just didn't. I'm like, I hope Brits aren't like really enamored with this.
mhm.
So
I can't even. I don't even know the show you're talking about. Thank God.
it was either couples or coupling.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
name would change slightly.
yeah, I'm sure. Reality TV shows never really interest me. I did
Mm.
tune in for the first Big Brother. It was an interesting test. It's
I
still
did,
on.
yeah. Big Brother, Survivor, they're still on. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I just
anybody
don't.
even
I didn't
watched.
even know they were still on. I just caught an advert on Mum's TV because she has normal
Yeah,
television. I don't have that up here, so
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
don't.
I'm just
I,
not interested. I just couldn't believe it was still going.
Yeah, it's what surprised me so far about Survivor is nobody's gotten killed yet. Because
Which
okay,
which one's Survivor? Is that when they
it's
dumped on an island or something?
yeah, they dump you somewhere in the wilderness,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
you and it's two teams, and you end up, half starving to death and fighting amongst each other.
Mhm.
I'm just surprised, because of the weakened state you will end up in. Nobody's died.
Or we don't know about.
Yeah,
I Again, I tuned in for one of those, and I was like, meh, because I don't actually think they'd allow that.
no, look, they would find a way to show it. They would find a way to show it when somebody died.
Probably get away with it more here than there.
Now they would. I mean, especially in America right now, the way ratings and everything. Okay, cable channels are losing out to streaming.
Yeah, same here.
Broadcast is losing out to streaming. Okay, you get video of somebody dying, and you can edit it, masterfully. Somebody would do that just for the ratings.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, trust me, somebody would do that for the ratings. But anywho, uh, what about you?
Movies.
Yeah,
Do we? Well, we were going to ask the chat, guys. We did a quite a dark stream, which was requested by a member, and we'd love to hear what you'd like us to talk about and what you want to talk about. We're willing to cover most subjects. I say most. You know, keep religion
yeah,
out of this. Politics. I'm in England.
yeah.
Mr. Lundell's
Religion
in
and
Texas.
okay, I would say religion and politics are fine, but right now they get us
No.
thrown in jail.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But we'll talk about virtually most subjects, and I certainly have the English point of view, and Mr. Lundell has the American point of view, so we can mix and match, which is, I
yeah,
think, very intriguing. With the serial killers, it was very interesting. My side to your side. I mean, I'd heard of most of yours, but you hadn't heard of most of ours, so it it's good to learn these things, I think. And
yeah,
if you guys want us to talk about a subject that is something you like, we're up for it. So,
yeah,
throw in your ideas.
yeah. Couple of quick couple of uh, questions to AI, and it'll fill you with a bunch of information about it, and I can learn a little bit. But now, okay, I guess on to movies. My movie,
Movies.
you know, my movie collection. Probably 95% of it is on two external hard drives. Okay, I can keep them safe. So we know a couple of guys that would look at my hard drives and say that that's physical media. I'm like, that's like middle of the road for me. I wouldn't necessarily call it physical media, even though I can pull up the movies and watch them at any time, like I can, uh, with my Blu-ray and DVD collection. But really, with physical media, I'm like, you can see back here, this top shelf, and on top of it, below below the weapons of war. That's what I call my strats. You've got
You see what words just put in.
Okay, we're back to that again. Okay, words. Next time you pick the werewolf movie, okay?
American Werewolf in London is the only werewolf movie as far as I'm concerned.
No, Lon Chaney did the best one. That's just
Ah. I'm not, do you know, werewolves are, I've always been a vampire girl.
yeah. Me too. It's
I
something
haven't
about
seen Beetlejuice. Sorry, Arabic. Sorry, Mr. Mondo.
Beetlejuice. I
Yeah,
saw I saw a bootleg of it the other day. It's okay. I'm not sure how well it's going to end up doing, but yeah,
it's not going to
I,
beat the original, is it? I haven't seen it
no,
yet.
I
I
I
intend to
think
watch it.
I think it captures the spirit of the original,
Ah, well, that's a good thing.
but it could have done a little bit better with, like, how the father was into calypso music. That should have been. I would have loved to have heard more original calypso music, not what they were trying to do. It's like they couldn't get the rights to to a lot of Harry Belafonte's music, so they just you know messed it over. But yeah, but I did that to introduce a werewolf Doctor Who coming question. A Doctor Who werewolf? When did Doctor Who do a werewolf anything? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll check it out in a minute. Uh, but Arabic Sunder likes zombie movies. Now, what defines zombie movie?
I
Okay.
like some zombie movies. The Doctor Who, Tooth and Claw, Empire of the Wolf. I'm trying to think if there's an older one.
Oh, okay. It's a comic. He sent me
Yeah,
check
it's a
your.
comic. Yeah.
Oh, and my favorite Doctor turning into a werewolf. That's not
Ah,
funny.
the words have sent it to me as well. Oh, what am I doing with this phone?
Not the fourth Doctor. No, no, no.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not a comic book person, to be honest. Um, thanks, words. Yeah, I just never got into comics. It was something I just didn't grasp compared to anyone else. I much preferred reading a book, if that makes sense.
Well, comics are books. They're
In a
just
way,
they're books with pictures.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and so so you like the old ones, like White Zombie as well,
Ah,
Arabic. So yeah, okay. We can talk. I would much rather watch those old 30s and 40s voodoo zombie movies than the the contemporary ones where the zombies are like human flesh eating, you know.
brains.
Yeah.
Sorry, Day of the Dead, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I understand, that bringing that element into the zombie trope made zombies interesting, but See, the old movies, they were giving us zombies as supposedly in Haiti, in
Mm,
places who was meant to be, and that was a slave.
yeah, I've seen documentaries and films on this. The puffer fish, isn't it? The poison of the puffer fish.
Yeah. Oh, and you also like the Invisible Man. Have I? No, I have not shown that. So, and I like, yeah, the original Invisible Man. Also, the one with Vincent Price. I
I
like
don't know
it.
if I've seen that. I
It's
must have seen it.
yeah, it's like the second one in in the franchise. He
Mm.
plays he plays a guy that was accused of murder, and he uses that serum to hide and find out who killed him.
Oh, that's ringing bells.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm a fan of Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. Actually, it's a niche horror.
well, yeah, it is
I think
niche.
it's probably more over here than there, Jekyll and Hyde, because they've done several TV shows and movies here, and pretty much great fun to watch. But
Well,
they've done some disturbing ones too.
yeah, they've done them here as well. My favorite Jekyll and Hyde has always been Spencer Tracy. For I don't know
Mm.
why, but I mean now the transformation of in the one Barrymore did, when he drinks that potion and
Yeah,
he grabs his throat and you see his face contorting. I like that transformation, but I like the way Spencer Tracy played the part.
mm. Yeah,
See?
yeah.
And I don't, and really Spencer Tracy was not known for those type of roles,
No, no, and
and that's what I liked about it. I could see him being Dr. Jekyll, kind of liberal minded, wondering about, you know, why is this person good? Why is this person bad? It's not all, like the old argument, nature versus nurture. No, to him being a scientist, medical doctor, there had to be more to it.
yeah, and I don't know if you guys know this, but it is based around a true story.
Yeah.
The Deacon Brodie, Scottish. There's a Scottish character. 17
Yeah.
early middle 1800s, so 1750 something. I think I'd have to look it up, but it's a bit of a ew. When you find out an author's based something on someone that was around in our history, although it doesn't surprise me that there's some pretty god awful history here, as there is in every
Yeah.
country. But yeah, this one's it, that's again always intrigues me about. You get classical writers that they've drawn from experience and
Uh,
knowledge,
and
and
actually, the author, when he finished the manuscript, he let his wife read it, and she threw it in the fireplace because there was a lot of unsettling stuff in there, and so he had to start over, and a lot of that stuff evidently he forgot because it's not in the it's not in the manuscript that ended up being published. I don't know if any.
I didn't know that bit. I
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. So we both got a bit of knowledge on that one.
yeah, because I had heard the story of the guy that he was Jekyll and Hyde was based on. And yeah, he was a swell guy among, the decent folk in the town.
Mm-hmm.
He had station, and people looked up to him.
He
But
was
at
the
night,
dean.
he ran
Yeah.
he ran the local underground. He was running prostitutes, theft. He had his hand in everything,
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
so it was quite shocking. And when it was shocking to people when they found out the truth about it. And the thing is,
Definitely.
there are people like that now.
Of course there are.
I remember some years back there was here in Dallas, there was a guy. He ran a funeral home, and he had a really great reputation in the community. Okay, if you couldn't, he would work like people needed. Uh, he would work with people if they didn't have the money to bury a loved one. I mean, he would discount them, and because he would get money from other. As it turns out, he was getting money from other sources. He was, and all none of this came out until after he died. He was in the drug trade and stuff like that.
Mm.
It was just kind of shocking because everybody always looked up to him as, this good, magnanimous person in the community. And like, he would do things like kind of for people that wanted it, funeral like you would see in New Orleans with the brass band, and he would, and the horse drawn hearse. He would do things like that, and that's how they buried him. In fact, with the horse drawn hearse and all that. And then, like a week after he was buried, all of this came out.
Mm.
The police were monitoring him,
Uh,
and they were about to close in when he
oh.
died. So,
Let's put some info about Brody in.
oh yeah, in the late 1700s, Brody,
Well, at least I
a
got the
family
right
in
century.
Edinburgh, upper society,
Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Yeah.
good job, was caught, tried, and hanged for serial theft. He inspired the 1886 horror story. Yep, Robert Louis Stevenson didn't have to work hard for that one.
Nope.
I wouldn't, but is that a horror story? Really?
It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
I would more, but I mean it's a monster movie as well. So,
yeah,
or they rather went down that route with the movies.
yeah. I've always seen it as psychological because he was playing with what makes a person turn bad,
Yeah.
you know. So, and he found something that would make him turn bad, and it ended up killing him. Oh, Broga, Alexander, did you hear that Earth is getting a mini moon? For yeah, I've been seeing I've been seeing articles about that. I hope
Yeah.
I can go to an observatory. If it's going, you should be able to see it with binoculars or an unaided eye or the unaided eye. I would think.
Yeah. I mean any personal telescopes you've got should catch it. This one.
Yeah,
Um. Obviously, dependent on the sun, it's going to shine at certain angles. Um. Depending on where you are in the earth and where we're turning. So it's going to be for about 2 months. And yeah, I mean, you're going to see a dot in the sky, but if you want
uh-huh.
to see a bit more of it, I mean, my personal telescope I've had for 40 years, and it's still as good as ever. You don't have to mess with telescopes very much. And I can set it up gazing out of my window.
Cool. Yeah. I'm just gonna wait because somebody's gonna put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I can say, wow, for 2 months we had 2 moons.
Well, wow. We've done an hour already.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Captured audience. I love it. So what now? The article said
Oh,
backyard astronomers, no amateur telescopes will be able. Are they sure? Because
I think that's a little bit of a leap, Arabic. It depends on your telescope. I mean, mine's pretty good, but it's not. It's a manual one.
but how big is it?
I mean, I can see the rings of Saturn from mine.
Yeah. I mean, how
So,
big is it?
oh, the lens. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Hang on. It's been so long since I've really had time to. I'm going to have to look at it. I'm sorry, guys. I'll have to pull it out. It's all right. Maybe it's not. It's still an amateur telescope, definitely, but it's a decent one. It's oh, it's the size of a bus. Yeah, Arabic.
Oh,
I've been so busy on what I'm doing. I haven't even read anything up. Let me have a look. I will.
you should
Look
be
at
able to
this.
see that on
It
the,
can't be spotted by the naked eye.
yeah.
High-powered telescope. They're saying it's just 10 meters across. Holy shit! It's that small.
Oh,
Oh, I thought it was bigger than that. You're right. Arabic, absolutely. I stand corrected.
oh, okay. I thought it was bigger.
No, it's yeah, I don't even think my telescope would focus in on it without light properly. And you need, with an amateur telescope, a bit of luck. Clear skies. I do stand corrected, Arabic. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've seen like meteorites and probably a telescope with binoculars. I mean, cheap child binoculars. I've tracked. It was like It was like a communication satellite. One night, I tracked it across the sky. I couldn't believe.
Yeah,
It.
there's going to be a difference because comets, when they touch the Earth's atmosphere, even at the edge of space, will make it their own light. And tracking one of the satellites at low orbit, I see one frequently in the sky. It's that's easier. This thing is going into an orbit around the Earth for a while. It's going to be captured. It's not going to be at the edge of our atmosphere. So you're looking out into space for it. And as the moon can't be seen in the daytime, neither will this. And you need the light of the sun just to pick it up. There's a lot of things with astronomy. That's why I went into quantum physics, much easier. Yeah. Certainly, I might get my telescope out and give it a go anyway. If I can get the coordinates off a colleague, just to see if I can pick up anything.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's tiny. That's absolutely tiny.
Yeah, any UFOs, we need pictures. So,
Yeah.
especially when the little green men wave at you in the porthole.
Mm.
I'm not a believer, folks. They're not visiting us. I believe I know better.
Well, we've covered this, haven't we, already?
Oh, and we can always do it.
I have theories about everything. I certainly think if they could transcend the dimensions from another reality, zap themselves in through a wormhole or something. You see, I don't see wormholes as interdimensional to other realities. However, wormholes, as far as we know, aren't natural like a black hole, which thankfully we have a picture of now. But we could be corrected. It's one of those things, but it as far as I'm concerned, if they're in our own universe, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you can get to us. I don't care how fast you can go. I believe there's life in the universe somewhere else. I do not believe we are the only ones. Absolutely not. But as for ever speaking to anyone, I just don't see it.
Yeah, in fact, it might be as close as the next solar system from us, but that distance is so vast we would never be. We would never meet.
You have more of a chance in your own galaxy, but there
Yeah,
are billions, trillions, even of galaxies, let alone stars and then planets. I mean, it's just, and the vast distances within a galaxy, and then crossing galaxies is just.
oh, forget that.
It hurts my brain, things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, the see, and the thing I have issues with, they keep claiming to have found all these Earth-like worlds, but the giant,
Exoplanets.
yeah. See, but they are the equivalent of a Saturn or a Jupiter.
Yeah, a lot of them are
See, we could
gaseous planets.
we could not live on a
No,
giant Earth.
no, we couldn't.
The gravity would crush us. So
And we probably wouldn't be able to breathe the atmosphere.
right,
There are. It's not just about finding a planet in the Goldilocks zone, which is the exoplanet's first port of call. And now the James Webb is up. They're actually looking for signs of certain elements, water, certain biology, and even then, that doesn't guarantee the spark of life. You know, there are so many things to take into account that would,
yeah,
you know, they 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 think the Earth was hit by a meteor, which triggered the event, which is a common belief because without an event, what would have triggered it? Because it was sat there before with everything. You know, Earth has been here for 6 billion years, and it's amazing to think how life even started on this planet. It's
but
mind bending.
wasn't there? Okay, there was an experiment scientists did in like late 50s or so, where he took all of the basic elements, hydrogen, oxygen, all those basic elements, and he basically put them in like a cauldron and heated it up.
That's an event, though.
And
You can have
occasionally.
all the elements without an
Yeah,
event, and they won't do anything.
yeah, but the event
Your
was
cauldron boiling
yeah,
them.
the event was electricity. He would he would periodically run electrical charges through it,
Yeah, yeah.
and what he got on the
There have
side,
been many of these
yeah,
experiments done. They
what he
even
got
did it on the ISS.
yeah,
Sorry.
on the sides of the cauldron, he ended up with this goo. And when he looked at it under a microscope, it was some of the basic building blocks of life.
Yeah, but
I
as I
have to.
say, Earth had the elements
Hmm.
for a while, and nobody knows what triggered it. And this is why an event is significant. No matter what the event is, if you're replicating it in a cold, boiling it, electricity, whatever, it's an event. And a lot of these planets, exoplanets, this is the problem,
Yeah,
have not had the same history and have not, you know, we haven't found a sun the same as ours. We found suns similar, and then using mathematical calculations, project the distance you need to be away for the Goldilocks zone. And then on top of that, they're looking at water first. And it's just, even if we found it in our own galaxy, we couldn't get there.
right.
We could send out a satellite, a Voyager. We got the ion drive. I mean, you can get to Pluto in 9 years now, if you're not a human being. Again, I stress this. But that's the edge of our own solar system. So
Yeah,
even if you find one, you're not gonna get much from it. It's just and without the event, or pointing everything at one that has everything we want. Oh, night, Brogu.
Brogu is leaving us.
Yeah.
Everyone wave. Bye bye, Brogu.
Take care, sweetheart.
Always good to have you here, my friend. Don't be a stranger.
Arabic says it was the progenitors. There you go. See,
Yeah.
you get me on science. You know this, guys.
Yeah.
That's why I don't bring it up. Actually, you can blame Arabic for that one.
But that's okay. That is the one thing, I mean, about when you're talking about this type of stuff. And what I would like to see them do is instead of going deep into space looking for this stuff, okay, what about all the near stars? Okay. Like Betelgeuse is supposed to be near. Okay.
That's our nearest. That's the
yeah,
nearest star to our own.
and you've got Alpha, who's Alpha
Yeah.
Centauri.
Which is an exoplanet in its own right. So yeah, the Leviathans from Supernatural, love it.
I'm gonna have to get into
Yeah, the Leviathans were quite fun. Dick. Now, anyone that watches Supernatural will know that. Anyone that hasn't will have to go watch it.
Yeah, you guys keep talking about it. I'm gonna have to get into Supernatural.
That was series 7, season 7, the Leviathans.
And if you keep it up, it may end up being a weekly watch party because
well, I'm not going to
a whole
complain.
lot of days in the week.
Yeah.
So. Oh, and yeah, word. That's one thing. If you've seen the new movie, they use that spelling.
Yeah, they do.
Original,
yeah.
which I had an issue with.
Why?
Because in the original movie, it was spelled with a J. It was
Yeah,
like it was
on the
like
front cover, but I presumed it was spelt like that anyway.
no, but I mean that was the movie. I didn't equate the movie with the star.
No, I did.
Even though you saw what's his name dressed all weird.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
I intend to see the second one definitely.
well, we can always get our friend to try to stream it underground. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
I want to see it on my big screen. That's why I kind of been waiting for it to hit Amazon when it's launched, and then I'll just rent it. And if it's half decent, then I'll buy the DVD.
It's decent. You know, I'll give you that. Even though uh, Winona is showing her age, I will say.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
It shocked me. I didn't realize she was that old.
You forget how old the film is, though.
Yeah,
Because we watched it
that
as
was
adults. It's
yeah,
still, suddenly
that was
we're
that
old.
was that was 80s. And
Yeah,
to me, the 80s was just a few days ago. That's
yeah,
in my thinking. As
yeah.
old as I am,
That
that
was,
was just a few days ago.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about there.
All
Yeah.
the movies, all the music, the current
Yeah, the
events.
the 80s was a very good era.
Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, hairspray companies made buku money on you women because you all wanted that. you know.
Absolutely.
So we've been going almost an hour and a half now.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's why my
just
bum's gone
laying
numb.
around shooting the shit.
Yeah. So you guys have anything you want us to bring up in the Sunday shows?
Yes.
Please, if you can't think of anything now, put it in the comments afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll check
This
them out. And
this will be up forever. So
yeah, we want to entice the audience with what they like as well as
Oh
what we like. And we have a wider brain source between us to cover a lot of subjects.
yeah. Maybe we could even invite a couple people on so we could get into some
Yeah,
good
if we've got some experts on the subject, that
yeah
would be great.
get in some good knockdown drag out arguments about stuff. No politics, at least not yet. So, but worst of it is when you watch a TV show or film with an oldie in it, then rewatch it now and realize you're older than the character. Yeah.
Yeah, words.
Uh,
Thank you very much.
I mean, I know that feeling. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
anyhow, let's wrap this up now,
I'm
everybody.
sorry we haven't been more energetic, guys. We'll chat about anything. You should hear us in the underground.
Oh yeah,
Topic to topic to topic. So,
just all over the place, all over the
yep,
place, like crazy people.
yep.
So, Klaatu Barada Nikto. I've shown that movie. You probably missed it. Maybe it'll be repeated.
Great movie.
Oh yeah, love it. One of my favorite sci-fi movies. But anywho, everybody, this has been fun. As always, it's interesting. I've shared a little bit of my hobbies with you guys, and evidently some other people have the same hobbies and interests. That's
Mm.
good. I like that. So commonality. I see why you guys are attracted to this channel. Now, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, do me a big favor. Watch some good movies. Watch some bad movies. Watch some groovy movies. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe on this. It'll be fun, you know, and it's good for the algorithm. Other people will find us. So, any parting words, Yvette?
Just thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, Mr. Lundell, for having me.
I will always have you. That's part of the protocol. She's a she's a permanent guest, ladies and gentlemen, and don't let her forget it. So I'm gonna I'm gonna shut everything down, start turning off the lights. You know, the janitors are waiting to start sweeping. So everybody have the rest of your Sunday off. Have fun. If next week, have a good, safe week. I will see you all on the premieres on Monday. Don't forget, I gotta put all this stuff up in a little bit. I have still hadn't figured out the noir for Wednesday. Friday's premiere, I gotta figure that out. But Saturday's groovy movie will be Dr. Fives Rises again.
Woohoo!
So, we got I'm got to keep this Vincent Price thing going. We're moving into Halloween, and for me as a kid, he was the icon of Halloween. So, everybody, have a good night. God bless you, Mr. Lundell and Yvette out.